buy and sell. Sell and buy.
Buy and sell.
Sell and buy. We're going to be talking about MLB trade deadline coming up. So we're going to be talking about 3 teams we think that need to sell, and we have some player options that they could sell, and then we have teams that we think should buy, and what their positions that they need are.
Yeah.
So we also have their farm ranking system. So we're going to see where they're at in the farm rankings as well. And this is going to determine a lot of where they can go and what they can do.
Exactly.
So, and a little hint, some of these teams are really good in the farm system too. So
yeah, and they're doing a good job this year as well in the MLB.
Yeah, 2 of them. One of them's a surprise one, but yes.
Yeah.
So why don't we start with sell first? I'm gonna let you pick your very first team.
Of course, my team, the New York Yankees. Very disappointed season.
You got that all off your chest a couple weeks ago.
And I will continue.
No.
After what happened. You see, they lost against the Cubs.
It happens. It's baseball.
No, they lost against one of the worst teams, the Cubs and the Rockies. Seriously?
Former Cleveland player, by the way, Nolan Jones. With that walk-off home run.
By the way, Josh Donaldson, he got hurt again. He's out for the whole season.
Yep. And speaking of Josh Donaldson, that might be a trade target. Yes, he's hurt, but you can still trade him because it's not the end of his contract.
Yes.
So that being said, there's a mutual option in 2024. So whoever trades for him, there's a $6 million option that both teams can choose, or the team that he goes to and him can agree on, or he's an unrestricted free agent in 2024, or if they do agree to the mutual option in 2024, he's a free agent in 2025. So whoever gets him, it's going to be a cheap option. They get a replacement if they want to give up a prospect, maybe something like you could package with the Yankees to see and go from there. Another player I see on here that you could trade is Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, I agree.
Oswald Peraza is ready to come up.
I agree. Gleyber Torres is an option because he's not going to be a free agent until 2025. But
IKF would have been an option, but his contract expires this year. So nobody's going to trade for an expiring contract. So Gleyber Torres is a free agent. I think he's a trade target.
Yeah, he's doing a good job with the runners in scorer position, better than anybody else except Judge. The next one is Domingo Germán. I think Domingo Germán is doing a good job this year, so it'll be benefit for the Yankees to get the farm system better for the future, especially with the, we can talk about this later about the rankings right now in the farm system, but with the Yankees and also Kyle Gashioka is another one too.
Yeah, so real quick, going back on Germán, I want to point this out. He does have a little bit above a 4 ERA, but he has been pitching well. His numbers don't show that as well with ERA. He does have a little bit above a 1 whip, which is not great. However, the way he has pitched and, with the lengths that he has gone for him is not normal, so that's great for him where he's at. And for Germán, he's not a free agent until 2025. So you guys need to start using prospects at this point. No Montas, no Trevino. You also have Severino who's struggling. It might be time that you guys just fold it in.
Yeah.
Call it a season. You're in last place right now, 1 behind the Red Sox, 2 behind, I believe, the Blue Jays.
2.5
and then you're
card.
7 behind or 8 behind the Orioles. And Tampa Bay looks like it's going to be a Tampa Bay and Orioles fight to the finish.
Yeah.
That's who it looks like right now.
I'm not very upset about the Tampa Bay or Orioles. I think they deserve it, especially with the years, Orioles especially.
It's when you look at the money you've spent and it's not producing on the field, it's annoying.
It's annoying.
So we go back to what I've told you the last couple of years. You need to trust your prospects, your farm system. You need to trust it. It needs to happen. That's the only way you're going to continue to win series, World Series, all that stuff. You need to do it. I think
this is time for the Yankees to realize, hey, it's time to sell. It's time to sell. I don't see them buying, not looking for anybody. I think it's time for you to move on. And also, I think Wandy Peralta, I know it will be a free agent, at the end of the season.
You might have to package him with somebody.
Maybe some rental for other teams that to help the bullpen. Maybe that's the
maybe
him
option. With Higashioka would be a good option. A little tandem there.
Yeah.
I will say this though too. The Yankees would not be on a rebuild. They would be on a reset.
reset.
They would not be on a full rebuild like most people will think. Oh my God, you're trading away these players or rebuild. No, it's a reset. It's not a rebuild. Give it a year. After this year and a half, I expect by 2026 them to be 2025 back in the playoffs, or not even just wild card, like actually division. Maybe
next year they make the right moves, but I think all these contract is on Brian Cashman. I'll say that with a no trade freaking clause.
I try to warn you about it for years and years and years. No trade freaking clause. I try to warn you about it for years and years and years.
And every single time they fire the hitting coach. Yeah. Or it was a hitting coach. No, it was on you. Yeah. It's on you, Brian Cashman. But you know what? Nobody gonna fire him.
Not yet, at least. Next team we have on this list.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I get the frustration, man. My team got swept by the Texas Rangers. We blew 3 games.
No, Texas Rangers are good.
Yeah, but not when you're up 5-2 and you don't pull a pitcher and you give up 5 runs. Like that just doesn't happen. That's a whole other topic for another episode. But yeah, I think he is on the hot seat. St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh my God,
that's another team that needs to sell right now. And there's a lot of good options if you want to pluck some players from the Cardinal. One of which is Paul Goldschmidt.
Dodgers, watch them out.
Well, hold on, we'll get to that in a minute. Cardinals, though, Paul Goldschmidt, he's a free agent in 2025. He will be 37, 38, or 39 in that range.
I think it's time to.
It's time for them to move on. They do have a couple good prospects in their system as well. I don't know if any of them are ready to come up yet, but you can always find a way. Mm-hmm. You can find a way. Giovanni Gallegos, club option in 2025, and he's an unrestricted free agent in 2026. So you get 3 years.
3 years of good.
And here's where it gets interesting, because you can determine with the Cardinals which one they want to get rid of based on this, which one's going to bring more value, and it's going to depend on who wants to trade for him. Ryan Helsley is another one, or Helsley.
Yeah.
2026 unrestricted free agents. So there's 2 guys right there. You can either choose to get rid of one in 2025 and save money if you want.
And build a farm system.
I don't
think the farm system for Cardinals are extremely bad.
So going back real quick, Yankees, I did not talk about it. So that was already on the graphic that they seen, but they were 19th. Cardinals are 7th.
Yeah.
So they would be able to get a lot for those type of relievers, and they will get a better farm system. So for them, it's a definite reset, not a rebuild. This is 1 year where you're just going to throw it away. Next year, figure it out, and then the year after that, who knows? They could go on a 4-year run again, they were, early 2000s, mid 2000s. So another guy I think that they got on their list right now is Tyler O'Neill. They got a crowded farm system with the outfield, and they have a lot of outfielders right now. A lot of guys that are versatile. He doesn't do very much playing right now.
No.
So for him to get a new space, new spot, that's to me is something I think they need to do. And another one, which I'm actually really hoping they do this, it's one or the other. I have Paul DeJong on here for 2 reasons. Paul DeJong has a club option in 2025. Again, flexibility for whoever trades for him if they want to cut him. And an unrestricted free agent in 2026. So you either get 2 years out of him and cut him, or 3 years out of him and take him. He's a cheaper option. The other one that's not on this list that I made is Tommy Edman. But he is killing it.
Yeah.
So I don't see them getting rid of him. And the reason I bring up those 2, Wynn is in their farm system right now. He has a killer arm for a shortstop. We've seen it at the All-Star game in Los Angeles when he performed last year. He literally guns it at like 102 miles an hour across the diamond. Like, that is absurd.
Yes, it is.
For a shortstop. The only other shortstop we've seen like that is O'Neill.
Oh, yeah.
And then now you could say De La Cruz.
Oh,
and De La Cruz is just overall killing it. But that's the Cardinals. That's another team we think has got to sell.
Milwaukee stopped him.
For a little bit, yeah. They did. Well, minus the fact that he stole second. And then third, and then home
against Milwaukee,
and that's very well could be a thing. Just like how every player has a team that they struggle against and a team they do good against. So now this is a team that 100% needs to sell, and they need to sell players that are controversial.
Now they need to sell it now.
San Diego Padres, they need to sell now. That needs to happen. It's not even a question mark anymore. It needs to happen. So for me, Josh Hader. Yeah, Josh Hader is a free agent in 2024. So he's got an expiring contract. There's not much you can do there. He would be a cheap, hey, give me a second level player, somebody in Double A, maybe Single A, about to go to Double A, something like that. maybe one or two of those guys. Blake Snell's another one. Same thing, same situation. This is where it gets a little controversial. I think you need to try to find a spot for Juan Soto.
Huh.
With everybody wanting to go in on Ohtani, that's going to be a free agent this year. Juan Soto is somebody that could, hey, we're not even in an Ohtani sweepstakes, but we don't want people to get Soto if they're out of it, so why not trade for him? And then maybe, and again, he's not doing great. He's not killing it.
His OPS is behind Shohei Ohtani. Second.
Correct, and so he'll be a cheaper option.
Yeah.
From what the Padres paid for him versus what you would have to get for Ohtani, that's a cheaper, and you get an extra year.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a no-brainer. I think they need to make that trade.
1 year and a half, yeah.
There's again, they got guys that can play out there now. You do have Tatis. You know he's made that transition now. They need to get rid of him.
They need to sell. That team needs to sell big time. It was so disappointed year for the Padres after everything they did last year.
I picked them to win the division. They are not even anywhere gonna. That's not gonna happen unless they somehow miraculously pulls them. Just like the Braves did the 1 year where they came out of nowhere. But again, that was a lot better team than what we're seeing. Yeah, this is 2020. Yeah, 21. But that was a lot better team than what we're seeing from the Padres, though, still, too. And they weren't in fourth place and way behind. But still, Trent Grisham, he's a undrafted. He's a free agent at the end of next year, I believe, is what I've seen. And then this one's a little controversial because of how much... Because of how much he has left on his deal,
I don't know.
Is Joe Musgrove.
I don't know about that.
But he is killing it as a starting pitcher. Imagine the type of trade you can get, almost like a Verlander type of trade. A lot of prospects, a lot of guys ready to go in AAA. They could turn this around in San Diego in a year or two with trading away one pitcher.
You forgot to mention somebody's team too. New York Mets.
I don't think they're going to trade, and I'll tell you why. Yes, they should be sellers. Who's going to take any of their players, though? Those are massive contracts for anybody you can get value for. Scherzer, massive contract, and he's a player option after this year. He can opt out. Verlander, they just signed him. They ain't going nowhere.
I don't think he will opt out.
I think Scherzer will opt out.
You think he will opt out?
Depending where he goes.
Do you think he will opt out?
Okay. Hear me out.
With that money, $43 million.
We've seen crazier things happen. We've seen deals get traded down just because of 1 year. Okay, well.
I called in right now on July 18.
Okay, so let me ask you this. He gets traded to the Washington Nationals. You think he opts in? I wouldn't. You're going to waste your career back where you started? Okay, yeah, exactly.
Okay, well.
Yeah, there's levels to it. I get where you're coming from, but it's one of those things where Scherzer is not going to be traded. I don't think there's anybody that's going to take his contract, number one. Verlander just signed. Nobody's going to take his contract. They're not even going to trade him away. They just gave all this money to Lindor. He's got a no-trade clause in his contract. You just sign all these outfielders.
And Pete Alonso's a free agent after this.
And Pete Alonso's a free agent after this year. So where are you trading these people? And they already said Alonso's off the table. They're not even discussing him.
No, yeah, I know. I saw that.
So they don't have anybody to trade. Which is why I did not put them on here.
They're screwed.
Which is why I did not put them on this list.
But they're screwed.
They are. They are 100%. There are two teams that I did not put on the list, and that's the Red Sox and the Nationals. And for obvious reasons, they're not going to compete.
Exactly.
They're going to trade. There's no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. Now coming to buyers, there are. Cardinals, like we said, were 7th. Yankees were 7th. We're 19th. Padres are 11th in farm system. They're still good in the farm system. So, I mean, getting rid of somebody like Musgrove and really boosting that up, maybe they can get up in the top 3, top 4. Yeah. And then when it is time to make massive trades again, you can pull it off. Exactly. It does happen. Go into buyers now. There was 2 teams that we're not going to talk about that are on this list. That's the Diamondbacks. They're currently 3rd, but there's a 3-way run right now for the division in the West for the NL. That is the Dodgers in 1st, Giants in 2nd. They've been killing it. They've been killing it. And the Diamondbacks are 3rd, but they're right there with each other again. It's a race to the finish in the West right now, it looks like. And then we did not put the Marlins on here. The Marlins are doing their thing. They're in a tough division as well. It's going to be a run to the end.
A wild card,
I think they could squeak in as a wild card. But one of the teams we're going to talk about that need to buy, Dodgers.
Well, yeah.
They're holding the division again. Kershaw got hurt. They need starting pitching.
Starting pitching, then
Bueller got hurt, I believe, as well. So that's another player. And then,
Urias, maybe?
Urias isn't doing what he was supposed to do this year. And then Dustin May is not the same player he was after Tommy John surgery. So, and that happens with pitchers. That does. They're number 2 in farm ranking.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But yes, they do need starting pitching. I think they can upgrade outfield. I think they can upgrade shortstop.
Maybe. They need a reliever as well.
And they do need a reliever. Now, with shortstop, they do have Rojas. I do like Rojas a lot.
Oh, yeah, but
he's not... You could right now, and I hate to say it, you can go get Ahmed Rosario, who's killing it.
Cleveland.
He's hitting way better than Rojas right now. He's fast.
Yeah.
Now, his defense is a little spotty at sometimes, whatever. But it also gives you flexibility. With him being a good hitter, maybe you move J.D. Martinez in the outfield, and then you move Rosario to DH. I mean, that's just options. And then you can switch out when you need to. I mean, that's just something I thought of. But the Dodgers are definitely needing to buy. They need to buy in this deadline. Deadline's August 1st. So we got like 2 weeks before this all goes away. 2 weeks, yeah.
Approximately 2 weeks.
Another team that I think needs to buy in, they've already come out as saying that they're buying is the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, yeah, they do. They have the, farm system as well.
Joey Votto turned into prime Joey Votto out of nowhere. He's almost 40. Eloy De La Cruz. Ellie De La Cruz is just killing it. Matt McClann is another guy who's killing it. Jonathan India's killing it.
I love this whole like team. Even my team's not doing good. I love teams like this, surprise and make,
Would you say that the Reds are the Cleveland Indians of last year? Yeah. Scrappy, they don't give up. They go on a hot streak. The bullpen is something that they could increase. They are doing good, but I think they can increase it, and that's what they're showing. I'm showing on these needs list. Man. I do think a setup man would help them big time. So I think for them, starting pitching, relief pitching, and I think first base.
First base.
I think Votto isn't really playing first as is, but I think they can upgrade that first base position. What if, and I know they are division rivals, could they go get Cody Bellinger to come play first?
Are you crazy?
Why not? Expiring contract. What's the worst that happens? You give up 1 or 2 prospects. You already got most of them up here anyhow that are going to be a part of your future.
We'll see. We will see what the Cubs are going to do because they need to trade Bellinger.
And they need to trade. Yeah, he's the one of their guys that they need to trade. And Marcus Stroman too. We were both going on that one. Last team we're going to talk about for trade and who I think they need to buy. Exact same as the Cincinnati Reds. They need starting pitching. They need a first baseman. They need relief pitching. And that's the Philadelphia Phillies. And the reason I bring up first base is, yes, Alec Boehm is playing first right now after Rhys Hopkins tore his ACL in spring training. Boehm is usually a third baseman. They have 2 guys that are swapping out in between every game at third base. Boehm needs to go back to third. Yeah. I think if they can get, again.
What about Kyle Schwarber? He was a first base with the Red Sox a little bit.
With a little bit more the Cubs, but he's outfield.
Yeah.
I mean, they could get an outfielder too. I mean, I'll throw that up there now. They could throw they can throw an outfielder in there and maybe move Schwarber the first, but I think they got to figure that out. They got to figure that out quick.
These teams, they need to do something with try to get in a hump to try to be contenders. And I'm surprised you didn't mention another surprise team.
What is
doing
that?
a freaking good job this year. The Baltimore Orioles.
Because I didn't expect they don't.
They will.
They won't.
And I will tell you
the only thing they can buy is starting pitching.
They will get that.
They're gonna trade for who?
Shohei Ohtani.
No, they won't.
Okay, hear me out. And I was talking about this for the past 3 weeks.
Where do you put Ohtani after he's not pitching?
Well, he's gonna be DH.
No. That's what they have Anthony Santander.
Seriously, to be on the top of the AL East
they don't
try
need
to
be
win
on
the
top.
championship, and they have the best farm system in the league.
Their farm system has been called up. Have you not been paying attention? They've called up 6 prospects. They're top prospects, not their little bit.
Okay, you check out with the farm system right now for the Orioles.
The Orioles?
They
could find out what their farm system is.
But I think they have the pieces to get Shohei Ohtani.
I don't, unless you're giving up Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman or somebody like that. No, I don't think so.
We'll see. But I call him right now. I don't know how, but I call them right now. I've been talking about this for the past 2 to 3 weeks. I think Shohei Ohtani is going for 3 months to the AL East.
I don't think that he's going to the Orioles, though, because the Orioles are not going to give up. They are a team that has never been proven to give up any massive prospects for a rental.
I'm just saying, it could be a possibility. But I think the Orioles have a chance to make a good, blockbuster trade. And
the Orioles do have the number one farm system. However, they've called up Colton Cowser. They have called him up. I can tell you right now, even though it is Shohei Ohtani, they are not going to part ways with Jackson Holiday.
Okay.
They are not going to part ways with Heston Kjerstad unless it is for
I just want a prospect, what I heard.
And
multiple
they're not getting
top 100s.
And that's the problem. They have 5 here, but 3 of them are already called up, or 2 of them are already called up, and 2 of them they're not parting with. So again, if I'm the Orioles, yes, you want to win a World Series. I'm not trading away 10 to 15 years of success and maybe 2 World Series for a guy for 3 months. Because they're not going to sign him afterwards.
Did you see what happened to the Cubs in 2016 when they made all this trade?
But their farm system was
for rental.
But their farm system was garbage. When they did that, guess what happened? Guess where they're at now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 5-6 years now of complete misery in Chicago. Not the South Side, the North side.
So you don't think the Orioles have a chance to make that trade for Shohei Ohtani?
Unless no, not for what the Angels are gonna want. No. Again, these are young players. These are guys. I mean, Jackson Holiday is not somebody they're gonna get rid of. I mean, they just call if they were gonna trade for Shohei, they weren't gonna call these guys up. That was gonna be a guarantee.
And all these Yankees fans, I love the Yankees and all that. It's calling to make a trade for Shohei Ohtani. Are you nuts? They're not gonna make the playoffs.
The only way you're getting Shohei Ohtani is if
they're not gonna make the playoffs. Just FYI, Yankees are not going anywhere this year. And I have to be honest, the offense is the last in the league. I think 27 or something like that, 28 in the league. They suck.
Yeah, they're not getting anybody. They're 19th in farm system. Unless you're giving up, you would have to give up Oswald Peraza.
Of course.
You would have to give up Jason Dominguez,
of
which
course.
is that
Austin Wells as well.
And Austin Wells. So again, that's not.
And Arias, the international draft.
Roderick Arias. Yeah.
That will be another one.
Yeah, that
so you will lose the farm system for Shohei Ohtani rental.
And that's the thing. It's and everyone's gonna be like, no, we can sign him. No, you can't. There are 4 teams that have been linked to sign him, and none of them, in my opinion, could sign him. The Padres, Dodgers, Mets, and Yankees. None of them can sign him. None of them. With all their no trade clause contracts and stuff they have, none of them can sign him.
Yankees are not gonna sign Shohei Ohtani. First, he don't want to go to the East. That he said that a long time ago. Second, the demand of money that he wants when the Yankees have plenty of bad contracts.
Yep.
DJ LeMahieu is one.
Mets is another team, and the Padres is another team with bad contract.
Of course.
Then you also have no trade clause with Freddie Freeman, I believe. No trade clause with Mookie Betts. You just signed Kershaw again for a massive contract. They don't have anybody. Yeah. That's another. And Walker Buehler. That's another massive contract they have. Where are these teams going to keep doing?
I don't know.
They can't.
So who's going to sign Shohei Ohtani? We don't know. But let me tell you something right now.
I know where he's going.
Don't tell me.
I'm just kidding. No, he's not going there. But after the comment he made at the All-Star game, eyebrows were raising in Cleveland.
Seattle.
Cleveland.
Do you think Cleveland can sign him?
Where are they at in farm system? Or right now they're what? Like 60 million?
Do you think Cleveland can sign him?
Let me ask you this. They're 60 million, right?
Okay.
There's 60 million in salary cap. Or salary space, right? Payroll. They don't have a salary cap as much as
Cleveland to do that.
So here's the reason why I say that. When the Angels came to town, I went to that game on Mother's Day. They were Japanese fans were flying in that stadium. It was crowded with Japanese fans for Shohei Ohtani.
That will attract a lot of fans.
That is a lot of fans. Two things I'm going to say here with this, and then we'll end it here. Shohei Ohtani said, "Who are you?" They asked him, "Who are you most excited to play with in the All-Star game and hang out with in the dugout?" Jose Ramirez, La Porta. That's what he said in an interview.
Interesting.
So that's interesting, number one. Number two, here's what you can sell to him. Ramirez is here long-term. Jimenez is locked up long-term. Clase is locked up long-term. You have Quan, Straw locked up. Straw's going to be probably traded,
That would
more
be
likely.
awesome for
Whatever.
Cleveland.
But Quan is on a rookie deal. Will Brennan's on a rookie deal. You have Bo Naylor on a rookie deal. Rosario will probably be traded. Tyler Freeman's young. George Valera hasn't even been called up yet. They have the prospects. They have the young talent. They have players locked up. And they have young starting pitching
What's the
coming through the
payroll
farm
right now
system.
for the
I will
Cleveland-
look it up, but I believe
Cleveland
it is
Guardians?
60. Let me see here.
Well, that was hey, I will be happy for that. But let me tell you, all these fans of the Dodgers.
Okay,
Padres.
Cleveland is at 91 million.
Okay.
So that would put them roughly around
Under 50.
140. I would say they can get him if they sign him for, let's say they do 8 years, 350, 400 million, or
Okay.
like 10 years, 500 million. That would put them at 50 million a year. That put them about at 140. And here's the thing. They have Josh Bell's contract that's going to drop off. That was a waste. That's 15 million right
Oh,
there.
Jesus,
so
yeah.
that's one guy you can get
That's
rid
a
of.
club option. The second
Player
year.
option.
Dang it.
I believe.
But, I just want all these teams to understand, especially all these teams they spend too much money on free agency. That
Yeah, player option. 16.5.
so he will opt in.
Unless they trade him.
He will opt in.
Unless they trade him.
But hey, I will be happy for Cleveland. Why not?
It's
Why
again,
not?
it's a long shot. I know, Jackson, you gotta go. I know.
Yeah, I know.
But it's a long shot. It is. It is.
Why not all this smart market
I
team that
don't
make
know.
it a splash for some free agency? That would be awesome for the league.
We'll have to wait and see, but it'll all be interesting once it all is said and done. But anything else you want to add real quick?
The only thing I will add, and that will be a firework explosion once again.
Oh, okay. Then they were done. Then
Hall
we're done.
Steinbrenner, fire Brian Cashman, fire Aaron Boone. It's time to rid of them already. Seriously, they are done. They cannot change this team whatsoever. You know, I don't know what you need to do, but something you need to do.
Okay. Well,
What
that's the
about
last. That's it for me. I think that's the last time though.
What about the Cleveland? You
No,
got something to
no,
say about
I got
Cleveland?
nothing to say about them right now. They're in a terrible division. They'll figure it out.
Well, they will make the playoffs, I think.
I don't know. We'll see. But
The
all right.
Yankees not gonna make the playoffs.
All right, we're gonna end that there. And end that there before this turns into another 30 minutes.
Damn it!
Yeah, damn it indeed. So, all right, we're gonna end it there. You guys have a good one. We'll see you next week.
I'll see you guys next week.